Hello and welcome to the August 17th, 2026 episode of Nick's News. I am your host Nick, brought to you by Some Budget Studios. That's right, we're putting money into this project of ours. We're live usually every Sunday, and I thank you all so much for tuning in or catching the replay on the Nick's News YouTube channel. This is a program dedicated to bringing good news to counter all the bad news that we are bombarded with on a daily basis, with the hope of bringing a little bit of joy back to the world. Several of our articles are pulled from sites like Industry Tap, Live Science, Positive.news, and GoodGoodGood.co, but we appreciate everything sent in by you, the Nick's Newsies. Hello everyone, Sanguine has returned. Thank you very much for returning. Producer Donna kicks things off as usual in the chat by saying, "Welcome Nick's Newsies, we hope you've had a fantastic week, but it's already Monday, we're into the next week, as per a poll performed by the Newsies that say Sunday isn't the start of the week, Monday is. So, drama. Alright, news brew for tonight. There are many very important lessons, one of which, of course, being don't feed the bears. Gatlinburg Brewing Company knew what it was doing with this 6.7% ABV American Brown Ale. Sometimes those lessons deserve medals, and boy, is this one a winner. It's the 2023 Tennessee Championship of Beers Gold Medalist, the 2024 GABF Gold Medalist, the 2025 Best of Craft Beers Gold Medalist, and the 2025 U.S. Open of Beers Gold Medalist, as well as the 2025 GABF Bronze Medalist. This beer has tons of awards, so hopefully it will have a flavor profile to match all of its prestigious accolades. Now it is a American Brown Ale, so what do we drink an American Brown Ale in? Well, we're finally getting away from the Harpoon Snifter, and we are going to bust out the Michigan Support Your Local Breweries pint glass. So, let's get into the theatrics of a 5-minute pour. We don't need the Battle Song bottle opener because it's a can, but we will blow the gain on the audio. My audio bar just goes red. Get all that carbonation out of there, or as much as I need to get out, so it's not going into me. Wonderful head on it. Beautiful brown color. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up very well. It has a hard time with liquids distinguishing between black and brown, but it is a very beautiful brown color. Very nice. We'll let that settle a bit as we get into our shout-outs. It is really nice to see you back, Sanguine. Thank you very much for returning. Thank you to everybody who tunes in or catches the replay. Seriously, appreciate all of you. All right. Shoutouts. Sandy and Danny know all about those hot summer nights, but unless you're a pink lady or racing greased lightning down a canal, you're probably looking for a fun way to beat the heat. Fox and Hen's Tasting Room is the perfect place to cool down and relax. Head on out to sample one of their small batch wines or ciders made with local fruit and served in a fun and inviting atmosphere. They're open Friday and Saturday from 1 to 8 p.m., and Fox and Hen is located between downtown Grand Haven and Allendale, Michigan. I should be there this Friday. I haven't been there in a couple of Fridays because I've been traveling quite a bit on Fridays. But this Friday, I should be there from like 5 to 7, 5 to 8. So if you want to have some cider and wine with me, by all means, swing on by. To Fox and Hen. Cheers. That just might be the most flavorful brown ale I've ever had. Now, normally I shoot for stouts and porters because I like heavy beers with lots of flavor. Brown ales I'll have if stouts and porters aren't available, or if I've already barreled through all of them that are available on the menu. That is a really tasty brown ale. There's a bit of chocolate, a little bit of toffee, There's a little bit of bitterness at the finish, which is what you want with a brown ale. But otherwise, that is a very tasty beverage. My gosh. I think this one deserves all those awards. Next up, we want to give a big fuzzy shout out to Shades of Hope Wildlife Refuge in Ontario, Canada. Today, they were able to release 5 young foxes that have been in their care since they were tiny kits. The rehab center made sure the little ones grew up healthy and strong and ready to return to the wild. They raced out of their carriers and bounded off into the brush, ready to start their new lives. Good luck, young ones. And to Shade of Hope Wildlife Refuge, cheers. Ooh, that's good. News quote. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. That comes from Oscar Claude Monet, who lived from 1840 to 1926 and was a French painter and the founder of Impressionism, seen as a key precursor to modernism in art. And I really love that quote because we do a lot of looking out. We are a very visual people. We're looking at one another. We're looking at the world around us. We're looking at how we impact the world. And sometimes it's very easy to lose sight of the one thing that we really should be looking back on, and that's ourselves. Because you can look out and you can see things change around you. But one of the big important things is to look at yourself and see how you've changed, where you were and where you're going. And one way to do that is to reflect, take that moment to have that inner reflection in that time, look at your heart, and see if your heart's on the right track. And if it isn't, work to get it on that right track for you and the better of you. So your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. From Oscar Claude Monet. Cheers. There we go. Topped off our glass. All right. With that, we will get into our good news. And our good news is broken up into 4 major categories, and those categories are science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, and last, wholesome notes, the really nice ones that we like to end on. We've got 7 articles tonight in total. We've got 2 of them here, and we're going to start off in Category 1, Science and Technology. But before we get into that first article, I would like to kindly ask if you could somehow interact with this video. Either like, subscribe to our channel, or comment on our content, even if you don't like it. All that interaction puts us out into the algorithm. And the one thing we're just trying to get into the algorithm is good news. Just good news and joy. So 2 things, good news and joy. And fun, 3 things, good news and joy and fun. And it's the only way that the algorithm figures that out is interaction. So every like, every comment, all of it helps to continue to push us into the algorithm. So thank you all so much for that. And with that, we will get into the first article in Science and Technology, which we called Death is Only the Beginning. And if you're a fan of The Mummy, that quote may ring true. I will copy and paste this article in the chat if y'all want to check this out. Japan set to revolutionize electric car industry by recovering 90% of lithium from used batteries. This was published on the 18th of July 2026 to Unilad Tech by Rebecca Jordan. The modern world is thirstier for raw materials than it ever has been. Electric cars are selling in record numbers, and the AI boom has thrown up power-hungry data centers that drank through 264 billion gallons of water in a single year as parts of the U.S. battled drought. With demand climbing on every front, the race is on to waste less of what we dig up. Now, a team of scientists in Japan reckons it has found a way to claw back most of the value from batteries destined for the scrap heap. According to engineers at a Japanese recycling facility, roughly 90% of the lithium locked in used EV batteries can be recovered. If it holds up at scale, it could reshape how those batteries are built and reused for years to come. To put that figure into context, conventional recycling tends to salvage less than half of the lithium in a spent battery. So reaching 90% nearly doubles what comes back out. And the process comes down to a simple substitution. Rather than leaning on standard sodium hydroxide, the team fed recovered lithium hydroxide, a fine white powder, back into the process. As a result, the switch turned the sludgy battery waste known as black mass into high purity lithium, clean enough to go straight into new battery cells. Moreover, the researchers estimate it can cut carbon emissions by around 40%. Lithium is a key ingredient in any EV battery, as well as our laptops and our smartphones. However, mining more is costly, energy intensive, and frequently entangled in geopolitics, which makes domestic supply from batteries already in the country enormously appealing. For Japan, the stakes are quite high, since it imports almost all of its battery minerals. Recovering lithium at home on this scale could loosen that dependence and steady supply chains that are currently at the mercy of others. That said, only about 14% of Japan's used lithium-ion batteries enter official recycling channels, so the collection network would need a major overhaul before any of it reaches its potential. The ambition is there, at least. The team wants to ramp up production further by 2027 and to be pulling tens of thousands of tons of material from old batteries every year by 2035. Which could put Japan completely ahead in the global race. An awesome example of reduce, reuse, recycle from a Japanese company that is looking to recover 90% of lithium from spent EV batteries. To everybody involved in that project, cheers. This next one we went and called Bubble Bubble, Plastics in Trouble. I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to check this out. The Great Bubble Barrier. How air bubbles are stopping river plastic before it reaches the sea. This was published on the 20th of July. Wait, what? Really? Yeah, the 20th of July, 2026, to Euronews by Dennis Loktev. I was so excited to get into this one, I just almost ran past the credits. Every year, millions of tons of plastic end up in the world's oceans, and rivers are the primary route. While beach cleanups and ocean collection efforts have become more popular in recent years, they are not keeping pace with the plastic tide. The production of plastic is only increasing, and Mariak Evelines, Chief Business Development Officer of the Great Bubble Barrier, tells Euronews Earth. We expect it to triple by 2030. The demand for plastics is very high. We use it in all our daily activities, and at the same time, we don't really know what to do with this plastic at the end of its life. Less than 10% of plastic is recycled. Ugh, she notes. meaning the rest frequently finds its way into waterways by accident or through poor waste management. Ocean cleanup operations, she says, help, but more effort is needed to actually put this to a stop. There's also a cricket chirping. Quiet in there. Quiet. Quiet. Thank you. The Great Bubble Barrier takes a different approach, intercepting plastic in rivers and canals before it ever reaches the sea. A perforated tube is laid across the bed of a waterway and connected to an air pump, creating a rising curtain of bubbles. When installed diagonally across a water flow, the current carries floating debris and material suspended lower in the water column to a collection point at the bank. We don't hinder fish, we don't hinder ship traffic, but we can cover the full width and depth of a river, Eveline tells Euronews Earth. According to the co-founder, the system has been validated by universities and independent research institutes and captures around 86% of surface plastic. That number is indeed quite stable, Evelines says. The company currently operates barriers in Amsterdam, Katwijk, and Harlingen in the Netherlands, as well as near Vila de Conde in Portugal, with further installations under discussion in Europe and the United States. Scaling the technology, particularly into Southeast Asia, where some of the world's most heavily polluted rivers flow, is the company's stated ambition. Implementation is not simply an engineering challenge, Evelines explains. It requires coordinating governments, local waste managers, and communities simultaneously. You need to make sure that permits are in place, that there's a waste collection system so that our waste doesn't end up a few meters further into the river again, she explains. We work together with communities in the local area. We ask their help to figure out what the most frequent object is that we find and whether we can do something about it locally. That multi-stakeholder model, she says, has been central to every successful deployment so far. Recognition has helped accelerate the company's reach. As a finalist for the Earthshot Prize, Prince William's Global Environmental Award, the Great Bubble Barrier gained significant wider visibility. Almost everywhere we go in the world, people have heard of a bubble barrier, Evelines told Euronews Earth. Or Evelines, sorry, I apologize. It really made a huge push for us to go international and bring our solution to where it's needed. Looking ahead, Evelines wants to see barriers installed at pollution hotspots in major cities worldwide, not just collecting waste, but generating data to inform the public and policy. All this data that we're gathering is also a way to make new policy to prevent it from happening in the first place, she says. To see these popping up on all the crucial places in the world, that would be the biggest dream. That is really awesome. To everybody involved with the production of a bubble barrier to keep plastics out of the ocean. Cheers. Hey, Becky, thank you very much for liking and sharing. That is appreciated. I totally forgot to do that on my own page, my own personal page. I probably should do that, shouldn't I? Luckily, it's just a couple of quick buttons. Copy. Paste. Post. See, I ask everybody to share my stuff, and then I go and forget to, so who am I to ask all of you to help us out? All right, that's going to get us out of science and technology. We're going to move on to category 2, health and medicine. We've got 2 articles in here. We call our first one, One Step at a Time. Or as I wanted to call it, put one foot in front of the other, but I was talked down on that. I'll copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to put one foot in front of the other. Stop it, cricket. Life-changing drug to help MS patients walk, available to thousands on NHS. This was published on July 23rd of 2026 to Sky News, and it was published by... Sometimes they put them at the end and I have to go hunting. I actually do not see the name of the author of this one. It just says the UK, so I guess all of the UK wrote this article. Donna said no because I was singing the Christmas song. I'm sorry, I like winter. A drug to help people with multiple sclerosis, or MS, to walk is being rolled out on the NHS in England, in a move that could be life-changing for thousands of people. Patients in England will be eligible for Fampridine, which is the first drug designed to improve walking ability in people with MS, an incurable autoimmune disease which affects the brain and spinal cord. Fampridine, also known as Fampira, works by acting as a signal booster, helping to restore electrical signals running along damaged nerves and improve muscle function. Until now, MS patients with walking difficulties could only be offered physiotherapy, walking aids, or devices to support their feet as treatment. About 5,000 people with MS will be eligible for the drug in the first year, health officials said. Professor Frankie Swords, which is just an awesome name, NHS National Medical Director, said, "Walking difficulties can have a huge impact on the freedom and independence of people with MS, so this signal-boosting pill could be life-changing for thousands of patients." Fampridine helps electrical messages travel along nerves damaged by MS, giving people the chance to walk more easily and helping them be more mobile to do more of the everyday things that matter to them. Becky is singing that song in her head now. For some, even a modest improvement could mean getting around the house more easily, going out with greater confidence, and living more independently. The drug is recommended for MS patients with certain Expanded Disability Status Scale, or EDSS scores, a scale used by medics to monitor disability caused by MS. Those with a score of between 4, meaning they can walk without an aid or rest for around 500 meters, and 7, which includes patients who use wheelchairs or are unable to walk further than 5 meters, will be offered the drug. Patients will try the drug, which is taken as a pill twice a day, for 2 to 4 weeks, with walking ability assessed before and after the treatment. Those who show progress will continue to take the medicine and will be reviewed regularly, the NHS said. Trials found Fampridine improved walking speed in 43% of patients and helped people walk for longer. Asen Slack, who's 65, from Eastbourne, East Sussex, previously paid for Fampridine privately, but was forced to stop due to the cost. Fampridine seemed to be working well for me, but paying for the medication was a significant expense, and I could not keep doing that forever, she said. So I had to make the difficult decision to stop taking it. I would definitely like to try Fampridine again on the NHS. My mobility has decreased a lot, and even in my flat, I have to use sticks now. It made a huge difference to my life if I were able to improve my walking. Sherry Smith, head of policy and evidence at the MS Society, said, "We're delighted that Fampridine has now been approved for use on the NHS. It's vital that MS services now have the support they need to make Fampridine available to all people with MS who could benefit from it, regardless of where in England they live." She added, "Over 120,000 people live with MS in England, and Fampridine is the only licensed treatment that helps improve walking ability and speed for some of these people. For many of them, it's life-changing, allowing them to live more independently or stay in employment." Aside from difficulty walking, other symptoms of MS include tiredness, dizziness, tingling in different parts of the body, muscle cramps, vision problems, and memory problems. To everybody involved with getting Fampridine on the National Health Service in England so that many can have improvements to their mobility. Cheers. This next one we called No Gas, No Problem. I'll copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to check this out. And I highly recommend that you do. We're just reading them, but a lot of work goes into these articles. Give these sites the traffic they deserve. They are cranking out some bangers for good news. Dutch students unveil solar-powered ambulance. This was published on the 21st of July, 2026 to RTE, and it was written by, what is that? The AFP, Agency France Presse. Oh, and James Gallagher was the author of the last one. I didn't see the name anywhere, but thank you, Producer Donna. Producer Donna is a superhero. A Dutch student team has unveiled what they believe to be the world's first solar-powered ambulance, which they hope can bring much-needed medical care to the remotest parts of the globe. The sleek, futuristic-looking white and yellow vehicle boasts solar panels on the roof that power its engine, but also medical devices from X-ray machines to defibrillators. The two-seater ambulance, named Stella Juva, can reach a top speed of 120 kilometers per hour and is designed for inaccessible off-road terrain. With a range of 715 kilometers on a sunny day, the car has a solar-powered charged battery to ensure the vehicle and equipment work at night or when it's cloudy. Stella Juva is fully equipped to deliver medical health care in hard-to-reach areas, said project leader Matthijs van Gerven. A 21-year-old, Jesus, a 21-year-old? This is nuts. We have real, powerful geniuses at young ages just rising up in these generations. These are awesome. Stella Juva is fully equipped to deliver medical health care in hard-to-reach areas, said project leader Matthijs van Gerven, a 21-year-old student of biomedical, say it with me, engineering, at Eindhoven University of Technology. Becky said, "Children are our future." That is absolutely correct. The vehicle is designed to bring healthcare to the patient, rather than transport them to hospitals. It contains testing kits for tuberculosis, cooled storage for vaccines, and ultrasound for pregnant women. The team plans to travel to Kenya next month to put the car through its paces. The innovation responds to a pressing real-world need, said Femke Maritz, partnerships manager at Amref Health Africa, a humanitarian organization providing health services in African countries. The issue that many African countries have is that the distance between very remote villages and healthcare facilities is really big, Moritz, who's 34, said. And this article was written by Lior Kahana. Thank you very much for Producer Donna. I am really can't find who these authors are, but luckily Producer Donna is on it. There's little public transportation, fuel is very expensive, electricity networks are unreliable. So a really cool innovation like the Stella Juva can help us solve big challenges in healthcare delivery, she said. Many of the team have put their studies on hold to work on the project, which has taken a year to complete. Quiet, cricket. The front of the vehicle features a dashboard showing current speed and battery power, and the medical equipment is packed into the rear. When AFP visited for the unveiling, riding in the vehicle was a smooth experience on the flat concrete roads of the test center at Barneveld, central Netherlands. But Mr. Van Gerven and his team are aware of the challenges that will be very different in remote areas of Kenya. There is a robustness we need to take into account if we want to drive off-road, where the health care really needs to be delivered, he told AFP, showing the spare tires and shovels in case the car needs to be dug out. Stella Juva is a prototype, and Mr. Van Gerven said there was a need to scale up to make a real impact. I mean, we are 23 students and we built this within just 1 year. The technical industry should be able to do this way better and way faster, he said. So, we would like to invite any technical company and industry partner, come talk to us. We would like to scale this up with you. One of the key advantages of a solar-powered car for providing healthcare in somewhere like Kenya is its adaptability, said Moritz from the AmRef NGO. It's really designed to reach large distances. It's powered by the sun, so even when it reaches a destination, it doesn't have to go back to a central point, she said. It can go on and on and on. Isabella Wanningen, 22, a computer science student who worked on the energy functions of the car, said the vehicle's name encapsulated the team's hope for the impact. Stella is our family name. Our first car was called Stella, and we've taken it to each car, she told AFP. And of course, we want to make a societal impact, and Juva in Latin means to help. So we really wanted to express that in the name as well. That is awesome. To this group of young innovators and students who have produced a solar-powered ambulance as a test vehicle to show that it is possible, with the hope of getting other companies to buy in and scale this up. Cheers. All right, that is going to get us out of health and medicine. We're going to move on to category 3, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals. And we've got one article in here tonight, but we hope it's going to make up for only having one because we wanted to call it, don't forget to like and subscribe to Only Marmots. I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to check this out. Only marmots. Funding for scientific research is at an all-time low, so conservationists turn to OnlyFans to save their marmot study. This was published on July 29th of 2026 to goodgoodgood.co by Megan Cook. The Rocky Mountain Biological Laboratory has been tracking yellow-bellied marmots in and around Gothic, Colorado since 1962. No, not varmints. Marmots. Only marmots. It remains one of the world's longest-running studies of free-living mammals, second only to Jane Goodall's research on chimpanzees. But its data extends far beyond Colorado's yellow-bellied marmot population. The RMBL's study has helped the global science community better understand how animals communicate, evade predators, form bonds, and respond to climate change. Daniel Blumstein, a UCLA ecology and evolutionary biology professor who has led the program for years, said that over the last decade, the study has largely been funded by the National Science Foundation. Then, the money stopped flowing. Since President Trump took office for the second time, his administration has frozen or slashed more than $700 million in National Science Foundation grants. So after 3 unsuccessful attempts to renew the NSF grant, the agency told Blumstein to stop applying. After the 3rd time, our program officer told my colleague that they will never fund us because they think we have too much data, Blumstein said in an email to SF Gate. I don't even know how to parse that sentence. It's nuts. That's the quote, and I'm echoing it. You can never have too much data. That's when a light bulb went off for Emily Renke, a first-year master's student in Blumstein's lab. She started a G-rated account on OnlyFans called Only Marms. That's right, Only Marms, where the lab could share their research with the world. The online subscription service is more commonly associated with adult entertainers, but on Only Marms, the scientists promise only unfiltered, yellow-bellied marmot content from the Rockies. Sometimes I'm just posting the videos I think will get the most awes, she explained. But my favorite is when I find footage of a particular behavior, and I can use that to educate people. The early success of the Only Marms account has inspired another campaign in the form of Fat Marmot Week, an online tournament that pays homage to the annual Fat Bear Week in Alaska's Katmai National Park and Preserve. Leading up to Fat Marmot Week, which is officially August 24th through the 29th, so we're coming up on Fat Marmot Week, the RBML will feature contenders every Monday and Friday on its website. And on August 24th, voting will open to the public, who are also encouraged to donate to marmot research as they crown the inaugural Fat Marmot Week winner. So far, only one marmot has been added to the website, a female named Dan's Hat. On the official Fat Marmot Week website, the lab researchers described her as the cool aunt who's part of Stonehenge's matriline, adding that matrilines form when females live in a social group instead of splitting off on their own. Although people have been praising the researchers online for their creative fundraising efforts, Blumstein said his ultimate focus is on the science itself. Ultimately, we should be spending our time writing papers, not thinking up out-of-the-box ways to get funding, he said. Reinke acknowledged Blumstein's opinion, but gently dissented, saying she doesn't mind rising to the challenge. While she agrees that scientists shouldn't have to worry about their research being jeopardized by funding cuts, she believes public engagement is a worthwhile part of the job. Although running Only Marms and organizing Fat Marmot Week takes time, she said it's an investment that pays off, especially because the Only Marms account introduces people to a critter they might never encounter in their day-to-day lives. I don't know if I agree with the idea that scientists shouldn't have to be opportunistic and creative. I think that's a lot of what science and research is, she said. It can be intimidating to engage with the public like this. But why are we doing this work, if not to help forward humanity with it? This is amazing. To everybody involved with Only Marms, an OnlyFans dedicated to yellow-bellied marmots, and continuing to pay for the research and funding of this group doing this research, and providing data and lessons about these animals and conservation as a whole to everybody. Cheers. Producer Donna said we need to open an account and help out. Becky said they're in. We're going to apply to Only Marms. Great. Hey, Charlie. You missed a whole article about OnlyFans. Only it was Only Marms, as in marmots. All right, with that, we are going to get into Wholesome Notes, Category 4. We've got 2 Wholesome Notes tonight. Producer Donna, you're going to have to repost the numbers that you had from the second Wholesome Note when we get to it, because I did not write it down in my notes, and I apologize for that. But we're going to get into our first article, and we called this one, Who Knew the Apocalypse Could Be So Clean? I'll copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to check this out. I sound a little trashed. I was at a Ren fair on Saturday, so I might have picked up some con crud, who knows. And there's a lot of pollen going around, so. All right. Do-it-yourself off-roaders race in public lands trash pickup contest. They ended this year with 5 million pounds cleaned. This was published on July 21st of 2026 to goodgoodgood.co by Cameron Baker. Every year, a group of Mad Max level car enthusiasts and public lands lovers gather for their own kind of Burning Man. They all coalesce on national forest lands in near Madras, Oregon, where they show off their do-it-yourself rigs and compete to collect the most trash. It's called the Gambler 500. We are a disorganized group of people who like to drive bad cars, go camping, and pick up trash on public lands. One participant, Rowan Sharman, writes on his blog. Gambler 500 started in 2014 by Tate Morgan and the OG Gamblers, a small group eager to join in on cheap fun for a good cause. Since then, the original Oregon event has become the flagship meetup for gamblers across the globe, but local groups also organize their own satellite versions. Here's the gist. For one weekend in the summer, participants sign up to meet at Crooked River National Grassland, where they bring their junkie cars, all of which are purchased for $500 or less. Then, they use those vehicles to race to collect as much trash as possible. And the vehicles are designed to grab attention. They're heavily modified, painted or decorated with vibrant designs, and some are even topped with dragons spitting real flames, according to KUOW, Oregon's NPR affiliate. One participant at the 2026 event, held on June 27th and 28th, was eager to show off his Lamborghini. Oh dear God, that is an abomination. Oh my lord, go to the article and look at this insanity. It's a Lamborghini. A hybrid between a Buick Rendezvous and a boat. Participant Daniel Tipton found abandoned on a Forest Service road. That is the stuff of nightmares. It's kind of terrifying to drive down the highway, but it is technically street legal, Tipton told KUOW. Rides like a boat. That is horrifying. Sharman has been part of the group since 2022, souping up his 1991 Ford Ranger to get the job done. This truck has hauled boats, couches, cars, and hundreds, thousands maybe, of pounds of trash out of the woods, Sharman wrote on his blog. It's thrown push rods, gone swimming, done donuts, climbed mountains, and ran out of fuel, but it hasn't left me stranded yet. Initially, the event just started as a do-it-yourself street racing endeavor, but creator Morgan told KUOW it had to change once it gained popularity. If we're going to use public land, Morgan said, we changed the metric from competition to time, as a race would be, to see how much trash you could pick up off public land. That is an awesome race. Now, hundreds gather at Gambletown annually, eager to let their freak flag fly and build crazy weird cars, Morgan said. At the 2026 event, participants removed 13 abandoned cars, 7 RVs, and 4 boats, along with about 600 tires and 250,000 pounds of trash from the national grassland. It brings their lifetime total up to about 5 million pounds of garbage removed from public lands since the inception of the event. Organizers told Central Oregon Daily News. But the do-good element of Gambletown doesn't end after one weekend. Morgan created an app called Sons of Smokey, a play on Sons of Anarchy and the beloved forest mascot Smokey the Bear. For public land goers to mark large items of trash they see while out on hikes or camping trips. Then, anyone can check in on the app to go haul the trash out. This 12-year-long commitment to vigilante trash pickups is one Morgan hopes attracts a diverse coalition. I think we've also addressed a certain portion of our society and outdoor users who didn't fit in the archetype of how people wanted to define environmentalists and stewardship, right? He told KUOW. There are people from all sides of the aisle, no matter what, that can agree that trash doesn't belong out here. That is amazing. To everyone involved with the Gambler 500 over the lifetime of the project, collecting approximately 5 million pounds of trash out of public land. Cheers. All right. We are going to get into our last article of the night. And this one is crazy. It's also about a sort of celebrity that's garnered a lot of attention as of late. We called this one, Being Different Can Be a Good Thing. And I will copy and paste this into the chat, and if y'all want to check this out. Post the results in the chat, if you could, Producer Donna. I've been kind of keeping my phone down at the moment. Jimothy. That's right, the short-spined raccoon, our favorite trash panda at the time. Jimothy, the raccoon, raises over $58,000 for charity. And he didn't even know he was doing it. This was published on July 23rd of 2026 to goodgoodgood.co by Megan Cook. Jimothy, a wild Seattle raccoon with a short spine, has quickly become an internet favorite. Known for his unusually round appearance that may be caused by a rare congenital spine condition, Jimothy has captured the attention of people around the world. Although he looks different from other raccoons, he is healthy and mobile by all accounts, roaming Seattle neighborhoods and filling up social media feeds. Jimothy's popularity has grown in the last week, inspiring a Google search animation, a new World of Warcraft NPC, and his own Dungeons & Dragons stat block. That's right, if you want to field Jimothy in your campaign, he has got a stat block. Seattle artist Ryan Henry Ward decided to channel the excitement into something that could have a real-world impact. On July 18th, Ward shared a photo of an original painting he made of Jimothy in the hopes of auctioning it off for charity. Jimothy, the hero we needed, Ward wrote in the photo's caption. I've decided to give 100% of the money made from this painting to Ballard Food Bank, a place that helped me through some of my hardest times. Ballard Food Bank has been feeding Seattle since the 1970s. Today, the organization operates as a unique grocery store model that allows people in need to shop for free produce, canned goods, hygiene products, and pet food. Ward invited people to submit bids through social media, promising that the highest bidder would win the artwork. The auction concluded with a winning bid of $6,543.21 from local Angela Galdabini. True to his word, Ward donated the amount to the Ballard Food Bank within 24 hours, sharing a receipt on his social media. Thanks to an awesome auction winner and to the power of community, and in gratitude to Jimothy, Ballard Food Bank has received their donation and the world is a little bit better, Ward said. The campaign attracted widespread interest beyond the community. Amazon was the first brand to join the conversation by announcing that it would match the winning bid. It tagged other companies based in the Pacific Northwest as well, encouraging them to jump aboard. Count us in on supporting Ballard Food Bank with a donation match, Starbucks commented. We could never turn down supporting Jimothy and the Ballard Food Bank, T-Mobile responded. Count us in. Sounds like a home run, the Mariners said. We can't issue Jimothy a boarding pass, Alaska Airlines wrote. But we're always happy to support our community. Count us in for matching the donation. On July 23rd, Ward informed Good that the amount was well over $50,000. Then, on July 24th, Gypsy Wolokons, the senior communications manager for Ballard Food Bank, confirmed that the current total was over $58,000 from company pledges alone. So far, we've had pledges from Amazon, T-Mobile, Alaska Airlines, Brooks Running, Starbucks, Stanley, Microsoft, and the Seattle Mariners to match the donation, and some of those funds are starting to come through. Wolokons told Good. If they all match the $6,543.21 exactly, we're looking at over $58,000. Wolokons also said that the majority of incoming donations are from individuals. Some donors commented that they knew they wouldn't have the winning bid, but wanted to give what they can, she said. One thing I love about the Ballard Food Bank community is the way we really are all in this together. So many of our neighbors might come in for food one week and bring in a few dollars to donate the next, or volunteers here regularly, or pick up trash in the neighborhood. It takes all of us. For Ballard Food Bank, the donations couldn't have come at a better time. We serve over 10,500 households each month, and the need in our community continues to grow rapidly, Wolokons stressed. With these gifts, we're able to share nutritious groceries, hygiene supplies, pet food, freshly prepared meals in our Kindness Cafe, which has an average of 1,000 people per day, and financial assistance for rent and utilities to help keep our neighbors in their homes. Above all, Ballard Food Bank is about humans, and yes, animal connections, she added. We are so grateful for Henry's generosity, this wave of giving, and the caring community that surrounds both us and Jimothy. And as of August 10th, the donations from the public and corporate entities has reached $273,000. That's right. This article came out on, when did I say? July 23rd, and they were looking at 58,000. August 10th, we have cranked that up to $273,000 to Ballard Food Bank. All because of one painting of a trash panda with a short spine named Jimothy. To the creator of the painting, I'm trying to find his name again, I apologize. Ryan Henry Ward, and to everybody that has donated to Ballard Food Bank, and to Jimothy for inspiring the art in the first place. Cheers. That really is amazing. Well, that's about it for tonight. 7 amazing articles, and I can't thank you all enough for tuning in or catching the replay on the Nick's News YouTube channel. Again, we're live usually every Sunday, and our next episode will be back on a Sunday on August 23rd, 2026. We encourage participation, so by all means, if you feel inclined, you can message or post suggestions for news brews, shoutouts, news quotes, and especially good news articles that we can present on future episodes. If you send us a bunch of articles, try to spread them out across our 4 major categories, which again were science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and wholesome notes, the really nice ones we like to end on. Like an amazing do-it-yourself Mad Max car group that's pulled 5 million pounds of trash out of public land. Or Jimothy, inspiring a piece of art that has raised a food bank $273,000 so far. You can message us on Facebook or Instagram or email us at somebudgetstudios@gmail.com. Links are in the description of the video. Feel free to like, subscribe, or comment on our content across all our major platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, where we just recorded our 100th TikTok, which is coming out on the 22nd. We've done, that's like 100 TikToks this year that we've done. It's crazy. And they're really picking up traction, which is awesome. Thanks to all of you. Really, kudos. Please know SEO improvement advertisements, we're not interested. We are so thankful for everybody, all of the Knicks newsies, everybody tuning into our content across all of our platforms, because it's because of all of you that we continue to grow. We do minimal advertising, we're mostly word of mouth, and we toss some business cards around when we're out and about. And that's about it. But thanks to all of you, we continue to grow. And it really is something to see us getting good news and joy out into the algorithm. And it's all because of you. So thank you again. As always, thank you again. I love you all. Have a great night, and I will play us out.